Hi scrapbookers, this is Megan and I am back with another Mixed Media Monday layout. For this one, I have already put gesso on the back of just a plain white cardstock. Then I'm going to use this, I think it's called Metallic Blueberry Gelato, and a baby wipe. And I'm just going to start wiping the gelato all around and blending it into the background. I also put a little bit of the excess onto that silhouette cutout that says remember. There was a little area that like the gelato was washed away more than I wanted, and so I tried putting more on it, but it didn't work. It might have been a little too wet or something, and maybe that's why the gelato didn't stay on there so much. And here I have some tickets and a brochure from when we went to the Hogle Zoo in Utah for spring break. And what I did with the tickets was I punched a hole in all 5 of the tickets and then put a brad in the hole. And I'm just going to fan the tickets out so that you can see all of them. So I do a lot of messing around with this layout because I'm just not quite sure how I want the tickets to be placed. And in order to keep the tickets from continuously moving, I decide to glue them down to each other. And I don't show the full price. You can see it on the very first one, and then I just you can see it a little bit on the other ones as they're fanned out. So here I am thinking I'm going to place that remember cutout right there. And it actually does stay in that area, but I'm going to kind of play around with a bunch of different things. And then I have those other 2 tickets down there on the bottom. And then I have this Hogle Zoo little wood cutout, and that actually came from one of my kids', we bought them a stuffed animal, and they each had this little well, it's not chipboard, it's like a wood piece on it. And so I thought that I would use one of them on this layout. So I pulled out a couple different things to embellish with. There were these silver leaves that I got in my December daily kit that I got from Hippo Hydrangea. I also had some little like leaf, I don't know what to call them, or flowers, I guess. That's the flower that I was going to use right there. It's blue and then light blue and then kind of like a clear. So here I'm just gluing down all of these tickets, and I already glued down the brochure. And I had these Chimel wood veneers that I thought maybe I would use those, but I decided not to. And now I'm going to glue down those bottom tickets. And I'm just putting a piece of washi tape over the brad so that it doesn't move around or anything on the layout. I'm going to use hot glue to glue down the wood chip piece. And then I'm going to glue down this little flower to the leaf and then cut down the excess, and then I'm going to glue it right there by that remember cutout. I'm also gluing down one of those silver leaves above that wood piece. And then I had some small, what are those called? Pins, clothespins, but I decided not to use that. And I'm going to pull out a couple different things from this embellishment pack, but I'm not going to really end up using any of them. So here I pull out that Studio Calico. It was a background piece to a product that I bought or I got in a kit or something. And so I'm going to make it into a banner and I'm going to put it up there in the left-hand corner. Then I'm also going to use, like I'm trying to play around and figure out what else I want to put up there, but I'm not really liking anything. Then finally, I pull out another one of those leaves and flowers, and I'm going to use those, and that looks perfect. So I'm going to start gluing down all of those things. I also pull out a rhinestone, and I'm going to glue that at the end of the flower and the leaf. And I'm waiting for my glue gun to heat up because I did this page over 2 different days. And so while I do that, I am just going to glue a background piece to the back of the layout so that it'll stay straight because it wasn't very straight since I had used the gesso and it kind of made the background piece all wonky. So here I'm just cutting down that paper. And then once I'm done with that, I think the glue gun is going to be ready. So I'm going to start gluing those pieces together. And I'm going to glue it to the layout. And then I'm going to glue the rhinestone as well. And that takes a little bit of time. Sorry about that. So now I am going to try to put a little bit more of this blue color on the layout. And I'm just using my finger at first, but then it doesn't really work. So I try using the another baby wipe and that doesn't really work. So I just kind of give up after that. So here I am going to journal, and all I say is that the zoo was a lot of fun. We spent about 4 hours there. And I was counting on my fingers because I knew what time we got there and what time we left, and I'm not very good at math, so I had to use my fingers to help me. Now here I pull out this Studio Calico rotary stamp and I put in the date, and also I'm going to use the little phrase that they have before the date. And for this one it's going to say this happened on March 26th, 2015. So I'm going to stamp it in 3 different places on the layout, up there above the brochure, and then down there on the bottom below the tickets, and one above the tickets. I hate wasting ink, so that was just another way to kind of use up the rest of the ink that was left over on the stamp after the first stamp. So I think that is pretty much the end of this layout. I don't think I do much more. So I will have some pictures for you after this. Oh, I did decide to show you what my inspiration for this layout was. I found it on Pinterest and I did kind of go like way off track, but it's always a good idea to have a starting point. So that's what I ended up doing. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.